Yes, please come.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please sit down, Archita.
Thank you, sir.
So, Archita will give you 2 minutes and you introduce yourself.
Okay, sir.
Yes?
So my name is Archita. I am a computer engineer by profession. I was born in Delhi. I was born in Patiala, brought up in Delhi, and I worked with Microsoft for almost 2 years. Post that, I started preparing for UPSC. Last year, I was recommended as an Indian revenue in the Indian Revenue Service, income tax, and I'm also pursuing my masters in diplomacy and law.
Very good, Archita.
You already joined the revenue service?
Sir, I joined, but I took an EOL.
What do you think are the reasons that in India, the tax to GDP ratio is less? It's one of the lowest amongst the big countries of the world.
Yes, sir. So the tax to GDP ratio is around 11% this year.
Yeah, it's 10 to 11 normally.
Yes, sir.
There are countries with 30% also.
Yes, sir. So primarily for the direct tax, first is the low tax base that we have, and coupled with the low compliance or evasion and avoidance.
Okay, what are the reasons for low compliance?
So first, before couple of years, it was difficult to follow the income tax also. Now it's been consolidated and compliance has been made easier.
Compliance has become easier or more effective?
So I would say both. The consolidation of the taxation.
If compliance has become easier, and you must have seen that India's income tax form is one of the simplest in the world today, then why this compliance is not there? Why compliance is poor then?
So first is, I would say the middle class particularly feels that the tax avoidance is better or tax saving is better. And
Tax avoidance is better. Tax evasion is better rather.
yes, sir.
As a tax student, you will read it later. There is a difference between avoidance and evasion.
Yes, sir.
So what do we do about that? People always do not want to pay. As a tax officer, what will you suggest?
So coming from a technology background, I would say first use of technology.
Oh, the entire department is already automated.
So I came through this idea in South Korea. They actually have incentives for tax if you file taxes, basically.
It has always been there in the West European countries. Do you think it's possible in India, and should we go ahead with it?
So very simple incentives like a free parking at various malls or access to lounges
do you
in
think
airports.
for a free parking, people are going to disclose so much to the tax department? This is impractical.
So free lounges at airports, for example. Or
Even a credit card gives you that.
So what we have to pay for that
Nothing
credit card?
great. Give a more tangible suggestion, which really works.
So first would be consolidating the procedure by a direct tax code. It's been recommended.
Direct tax code is not coming. Actually, it was started about 10 years back. It has not come.
Yes, sir.
It is not likely to come now.
So I'd be hopeful that it will come someday.
That is about the compliance. Not comfortable, it seems, on that. Why low tax base? And give me 3 suggestions to increase the tax base of India with direct taxes only.
So one would be expanding the tax base, agriculture income, at least the...
Okay, one is agriculture, done.
Yes. So one would be consolidating the exemptions. For example, this budget we...
Exemptions are almost gone now.
Yes, sir. So this budget...
And in any case, it doesn't increase the tax base. Exemptions are claimed by people who file the returns. It's not clear. So it's not relevant here.
So I'd have to think more about it. I'm sorry.
Never heard of presumptive taxation?
No, sir. I'm sorry.
Never heard of wealth tax?
Yes, sir. Wealth tax.
Inheritance tax? There's so many all over the world which we don't have.
Yes, sir. I would say wealth tax is one step that we can take.
Okay, one more question. What is your point of view on loan waiver in India? Every time before election, particularly before elections, the governments, state and the center, they tell the farmers, we'll waive your loans. Is it ethical? What do you think? To me, it is unethical because a person who has paid it off, he feels he has been cheated. What do you think?
So I would agree with your viewpoint that it is unethical. First, because as you mentioned that the people who have paid for it feel cheated.
So the political parties should not make that promise. That's what you are saying.
So populist measures are, in my opinion, neither good politics
Okay, got
nor
it.
good economics.
But as a contrast, those are normally small amounts to the farmers. But as a contrast to that, out of the NPAs, you must have heard about the IBC and NCLAT. Thousands and lakhs of crores are being waived off by the government from the rich people. How is it? By giving it a structural form. How is that justified?
So I would say that for farmers who are in need, one-time
So
measure can be
if
taken.
these people deserve, the farmers deserve it much more, I think. No?
Sir, but I would say that around 30% of the farmers still don't come in the formal credit base.
That's why I am for the farmers. I'm saying farmers' loans should be waived off, because when the rich people's loans are being waived off. Now, what is your take on this? Why should we waive off loans of the rich people?
So I think the intention behind farm loan waivers is more of
No,
populism.
I'm out of that now. I'm on the industrials now. Industrial loans.
Sir, could you repeat the question once?
You must have seen that every year a few thousand crores are being waived off
Yes, sir.
through the channel of
IBC.
IPC. And the latest report is 85 to 90% is waived off, which is really very damaging for the economy. What do you think?
So I think the veracity of the loans by the...
But why has it happened?
So because it's a domino effect. If the loans are not written off or they're not eased
What will
for
happen?
the industries, the whole financial sector will be disturbed. We saw it in the IL&FS crisis,
Okay.
the way it disturbed our economy.
But why did the loans become bad? What is the basic reason? Going to the root of what is the root of the problem?
So I would say three reasons. The first would be the regulatory forbearance. The economic survey also talks about it. The second is the end-use monitoring is not done.
Lack of proper monitoring.
Yes, sir,
Right.
by the banks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Archita,
Yes, sir.
you are from Gurugram.
I recently shifted to Gurugram, sir.
Okay, tell me something about Gurugram.
So Gurugram, the word Gurugram comes from Guru Dronacharya. So it falls into our civilizational construct since the ancient times. And one thing I observed after shifting to Delhi is that Gurgaon, I was in Delhi till very recently. So I can share experiences shifting to Gurgaon. One of that would be that it's more open. The population is more widespread. Delhi has very dense population. However, one thing I would like to point out is that Gurgaon's civic amenities and the management, for example, waterlogging is an issue. The quality of water is also an issue. So I would share experiential differences.
You have been in Patiala also?
Sir, I am originally from Patiala, but I was brought up in Delhi only.
May I ask something about Patiala also?
Sure, sir.
Okay, tell something about Patiala.
So Patiala is a princely state. It was under the Maharajas till our independence. And today, Captain Amrinder Singh stands as the icon of Patiala. And it's also, on a lighter note, famous for the Patiala peg.
Okay, 5 important issues of Haryana. Yesterday, the budget was presented
Yes,
by
sir.
the CM.
Yes, sir.
If you can recall, have you followed budget?
No,
State
sir.
budget?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, unemployment is a big issue,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, it's
So-
the highest among all states.
And in private sector, there is certain reservation.
Yes, sir. 75%.
High Court gave the stay, but Supreme Court waived that.
Yes,
What did you take about it?
Sir, I would say that the reservation was a step taken to address the unemployment. However, it's, in my opinion, first of all, it violates the Article 16 because it is offering place of residence as an employment condition. The second would be that such policies are a domino effect. If one state starts implementing it, other states will follow. That will be antithetical to the ease of doing business. And today Haryana stands for industries. Gurgaon is a hub of MNCs. If these steps happen, it's going to disturb the ease of doing business.
Other than unemployment, I asked about the 5 issues of Haryana.
Yes, sir.
What are the other 4 issues which come to your mind? that has to be addressed?
So second would be the agroecological crisis. Groundwater is really low, especially in Gurgaon. The quality of water is also an issue. So second would be that. Third would be particularly in cities like Gurugram. The waterlogging is an issue as per my understanding. The fourth would be the Khap Panchayats, socially, if we talk about it. And fifth would be women-centric issues.
Okay, if you suggest to your friend that visit 5 places of interest, tourist importance, what you will suggest? 5 places in Haryana?
So for the mythological enthusiasts, I would say Kurukshetra because it was the host of Mahabharata. The second would be Gurugram because it stands as an icon of modern India. The third would be the lakes, for example, the Karna Lake, the Sukhna Lake in Chandigarh. The fourth would be the Rakhi Gadi because it's from the Indus Valley civilization. And the fifth would be Panchkula also because it's near to Pinjar Gardens and Morni Hills.
Okay, my last question is, one of the districts of your state is doing excellent in the field of agroforestry. Which is that state, that district?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not able to recollect. Thank you, sir.
So, just me tell what is just in 2 lines or 3 lines evolution of computer.
So the computers, Charles Babbage started with the computers. It's evolved from big room-sized computers to today, the personal computers.
What we call at that time?
So the first generation computers.
Something other type of computer, which can you tell as a or main origin of the computer?
So the primitive form is the abacus.
Okay. And you see, we have come to a stage of stagnation in the computer speed, data transmission through a computer. Tell me something new, how we are increasing now the speed of data transmission, data transfer.
So we started with the wire form of transmission. Today we have shifted to technologies like the airdrop in Mac systems and NFC.
Edge computing, you are talking about edge computing?
So normal data transfer I'm talking about.
But normal data transfer has come in stagnation because of the constraints of the hardware.
Yes, sir.
So what is the solution? Got my point?
So I'll have to think more about it.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Data localization.
Yes, sir.
How can be practical?
So by building data centers in the country.
But still data will go to abroad?
So the recent Data Protection Bill 2022 version talks about signing bilateral agreements. So for friendly countries, we can go with...
Okay, who are the real regulator of this sort of OTTs and other platforms, Netfield? Who are the real operator, real regulator?
So right now we are following a self-regulation
Self-regulator. Can it work?
So an overarching body is needed in my opinion.
Okay, this a simple, you can check up either it may be a smartphone or simple other type of phone. It got heated after some application. Why heating and what is now the solution?
So one reason of heating is a software creep. Basically, the more updates we install on our phones, the more heavy it is for the battery to work on. So we need solutions for on the hardware side.
Only hardware side. So any idea of that dual processor or quad processor, something like that?
So I think phones already have those dual and quad processors.
But still heating problem will remain. Okay. Tell me this. You have already visited Korea, South Korea, and in both the countries. But still, in Indian software firms, same company when works in India, it is very primitive stage. It does nothing but store and keep the data and copy something like that. But when you go South Korea, there are hundreds items, apps are being developed day by day, day to day. Why such a difference is there? No technology, nothing else. But when we talk about Indian Microsoft, or when we talk about Korean Microsoft, hell and heaven difference. Why?
So, three reasons again. First is our education system. We are moving towards innovation. For example, the latest innovation index rankings, they have improved substantially. However, in countries like South Korea or the West, innovation was focused on since the beginning.
But why we did not have any our own indigenous search engine?
So first reason is the first movers advantage. US already developed the Google and Bing of Microsoft. So we ended up following them rather than making our new versions. The second is again the ecosystem, technical ecosystem. India is always focused on digital services. For example, Infosys, Wipro, TCS, they all focus on providing IT solutions and not an IT product.
Recently, last 10 years, we have now moved from the what earlier we have the protectionism concept, but now it is a globalization concept. So just tell me one point of each. Capitalism concept, the so-called protect economy concept, and second is the globalized economy concept. 1 point, 1 advantage each.
So with respect to India,
Yes, with respect to India.
So pre-1991, we had the license permit quota Raj system under the protectionist economy. Post that, we have moved to LPG reforms, liberalization, privatization,
Okay.
globalization.
What benefit?
So FDI has increased manifold, our forex reserves have increased, our growth has also increased.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you, sir.
Archita,
Yes, sir.
today you go out in Delhi, you will hardly travel a kilometer without seeing a huge poster of G20, right? Tell me, in what way on major global issues as G20 chair we can make a difference?
So first point is...
And not in our own eyes, yes?
Yes, sir.
You have to understand that.
So first point is, as the fastest economy today, we are focusing on newer concepts of economy. For example, crypto assets is an agenda
You
item.
have to be very clear when you make a suggestion, because I'll ask you how will you do it.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Don't list the items mentioned in a news item. All right? On crypto, you mentioned crypto, I didn't do it, right? Tell me what exactly can India's G20 chair achieve on crypto? Because we ourselves have been very, very double-minded on cryptos.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I would say cryptocurrency, the concept is fundamentally decentralized. We can buy cryptocurrency from...
No, my issue is what will you do? What do you want to achieve in terms of global regulation on cryptos? Because there are some kind of regulation on cryptos. What is that we will seek? And where there will be a global agreement?
So I would say a regulation, global regulation on cryptocurrency, so that it's not used for money laundering, terror financing, etc. Unless the whole...
What will you want to do there? Because you have to understand the main difference, because we are also talking about central bank digital currencies, right? If you make crypto transparent, it will be no different from CBDCs. Crypto's only advantage is that you do not know what's happening in the system.
Yes, sir.
It's anonymity of the system. So if you tell crypto should not remain anonymous anymore, then the crypto is not crypto. It will become like any other stable coin, or there are many other coins which say, all right, you can make us public. What shall we achieve? Because crypto won't agree to that.
So I would still say regulation is necessary, because...
The regulation means what? You will tell everybody, okay, we have announced we'll put tax on crypto gains, right? So everybody should agree to that. You will say that?
Yes, so first would be taxation on the crypto assets. The second would be monitoring where the...
How would you monitor? That's the main problem. Because the key quality or the feature of crypto is that you cannot monitor it.
So just like we have the Kimberley process for conflict diamonds, similarly we can have a process
A
where,
social approach,
so
a public opinion approach.
so basically a certification which
What
ensures.
else? Okay, leave aside cryptos.
Okay, sir.
Because I don't think this is number one issue in our global priority lists. What else?
The second would be, sir, women-led development.
What will you tell people?
To encourage women across the social sphere, economic sphere, political sphere.
Again, just a matter of statement. Yes?
So such statements can
It will be like making a statement. Because those who agree with you, they are already doing it. And many cases ahead of us. And those who won't agree with you, they will not agree with you.
So that is where the challenge of diplomacy lies. We'll try to convince
Because when you
them.
come out with a statement in the joint statement, then some people will say increase it, others will say no, decrease it. So basically it will amount to making a statement, good faith statement. What else shall we do?
So focus on renewable energy, decarbonizing economy.
What is that we will say which has already not been said at COP27 or under the Paris Accord or under the International Solar Alliance? Is there anything new that we can say?
So I think we can focus on implementation. We have enough ideas. We can convince nations to implement such ideas.
All right. What else will you say?
So as the flag bearer,
You have to come out as a hero, because if you keep repeating the old mantras, then what will be the difference between you and Indonesia? They did the same thing. Because we want to say that we are exceptional, right? For the first time, the chairmanship of G20 has come in hands of a real global leader.
So one thing that India is also talking about is cultural restitution of property.
Say again?
So restitution of cultural property.
Meaning what?
For example, there's a lot of cultural property like the Kohinoor diamond or Tipu Sultan's fort, which is
Tipu Sultan's fort, what will you do there?
So basically, talk about how colonialism affected the global south, emerge as the leader of the global south, and
Because when they ask you those questions, how you are respecting and maintaining your own cultural properties, what will be your answer? Because there will be a lot of questions. They'll say, very, very happy that you are raising this question. And now we'll give you a list of your own flaws.
so I think
All right, leave this G20 out. Now tell me, for example, we have been struggling to expand the United Nations Security Council, and we are legitimately seeking a place on the UNSC as a permanent member. Now, if they tell us, okay, we'll agree to your becoming permanent member, but without veto, should we agree?
So I think the veto power is one of the nucleus of the Security Council. Even though it would make sense for us to accept a position despite the veto, I would say that we shouldn't agree.
We shouldn't agree?
Yes, sir.
Why?
So I think one of the reasons why the
You
security...
see, for a principled stand, if it delays for another 20 years, it's worth it. At least be there.
So the veto power will still get manipulated by the P5.
Still, you are there. You can shout, at least.
So for starters, yes, but we
No,
again...
keep that as an objective, because reforms will not stop. Right? Today we are seeking a permanent seat, tomorrow somebody else will seek a permanent seat. You tell me, is it wise to be there rather than be out?
So then we need a guarantee that
10
the veto power
seconds.
is
No, nobody will
going to come.
guarantee. 10 seconds, another question. This Indus Water Treaty.
Yes, sir.
What is our core objection there? Problem? Why we want to rewrite it?
So in the short term, Pakistan has been against our
Give me
run-of-the-river
the
projects.
core issues, why we want to rewrite. What are the clauses you want to change? Not that it will happen, but just I am asking your wish list.
So a certain category of the population thinks that the water distribution was not fair. A lot of the water is flowing into Pakistan.
I am talking of a legal document. Tell me what provision in that legal document is that you don't like and you want to change it. How do you want to change it?
Sir, a more constructed form of arbitration. Today,
Arbitration,
Yes,
what?
sir.
What else?
sir, clarity on the run-of-the-river projects. We should be
Run-of-the-river.
able to construct.
All right, thank you so much.